Hey, what's going on, everyone? So, we've got some important stuff to talk about because recently the brand new PvE event released for Overwatch 2, and it's pretty fun, it's pretty decent, but at the same time, it brings on a whole new aspect of Overwatch that not a lot of people have talked about, and we kind of haven't had anything up to this point even similar to what this event is, and that's crossing PvE content with PvP content. They've always been separated with the little PvE content that we have gotten, and then, the vast majority of Overwatch is all PvP, but we haven't really sat down and talked about merging those two together to make new game modes and bring new ideas into Overwatch 2. It's always just been a PvE side separate. And of course, PvP is, that's what Overwatch is all about, but mixing the two is just a fresh take. And this new game mode is really fun. It's nothing crazy, but it is a taste of what they could do for the future of Overwatch 2 to bring us more content that is fun and varied. Because at the end of the day, I think a lot of us would love to have a couple of these events or a couple of these game modes just stick around for a while in the arcade. The idea that all of these that are getting made, like the new Olympian game mode, which they're going to make a team deathmatch version of, which I think is fantastic because that's what a lot of us wanted from the start back in the old season when that initially released, right? We wanted it to be team deathmatch. I know that I did, and I was kind of bummed out when I found out that it was only free-for-all. So they've kind of revamped that, listened to our comments and concerns, and put that back together and released it back out in the wild for us. At least they're going to. But at the same time, when the idea of taking away this content from us, I understand having seasons and having seasonal content and having every single season, rotate and bring us new content in with and get rid of the old. At least when it comes to skins and different things like that. I'm fine with those things being rotated. But the game content that they build for us that is actually fun, like this new PvE event, I don't believe that this stuff should go away. I think that this stuff should stay, and I'd really like to see more PvE and PvE cross content come together in the future for Overwatch 2 that's more expanded on than just a tiny event. So, I know that's something that we might not get, something that we probably won't get, unless our voices are heard, because I think that games today have a horrible problem of making amazing content for the players, giving it to them through seasonal events, and then taking it away from them. It's just not a good feeling. Overwatch 2, or Overwatch as a whole, Overwatch 1 and 2, it's the same thing really. There's changes and they've done so much stuff, but at the end of the day, it would be really cool if all of this content that they make for us sticks around forever. We need a collection of PvE, PvP, and PvP, PvE type content to stick around. We need that content forever, because the more that gets built up over time, the more players are going to have fun stuff to do. And it will also take away from the pressure of PvP only, because a lot of us get frustrated when we play PvP. We back off, we take a step away, but there's really nothing else to do in Overwatch 2 when it comes to stepping away from PvP. You only have quick play and competitive, and everything else in the arcade is really just a knockoff of PvP. So, I think that having more variation, and I've talked about this before on the channel, I think that having more variation in Overwatch 2 is really where the money is. And that's why I think that when PvE officially releases, when we get some final content that is actually separated from PvP, that is going to stick around in the game permanently, at least I hope it's going to be permanently, because if it's not, we've got a whole nother problem there. So, when we finally get this content, and it is something that sticks around in the arcade or a brand new PvE tab, right? It's going to bring variation. It's going to bring a new mass of players into Overwatch if it's good, which I really hope it is, because they've been working on it for years at this point. And from what they're saying, it's still going to be releasing in 2023. I know a lot of you have I've seen a lot of YouTube videos, and I've talked to a lot of you that don't think it's coming out in 2023, but if you remember, the roadmap specifically says that it is going to be releasing in 2023, and they haven't talked about pushing that back at all. So if we're still going to be getting this PvE content in 2023, remember, not only are we supposed to be getting it in 2023, it's going to be not the entire package that they originally had planned for us. It's going to be a smaller snippet of what they talked about in the past for giving us an Overwatch 2. Because, you know, as a lot of you know, and a lot of us have come to terms with now, the development cycle for Overwatch 2 before it released was not very good, and it seems very wishy-washy. They've said specific things, taken away certain things. So at the end of the day, we just don't really know what PvE is going to look like. We've had, you know, different examples before at BlizzCon where they showcased a few different things and the way PvE was supposed to run before, but we haven't gotten an example of if it's going to stay that way forever or if they've changed it along the way. So we might not be getting a giant campaign drop. They've talked about how it's going to be cut up into smaller campaigns. So that sounds to me like more seasonal content, and it also gives Overwatch a good opportunity to cycle content appropriately, because when we don't get a new hero, the season that falls with a new map, I'm not going to say that it feels lackluster, but it could use a bit more. And if their plan is to cycle PvE campaign drops along with new heroes, so one season gives us a new hero, and the next gives us a new map along with new PvE content, that could be a very good rotation for Overwatch 2 to have to bring the player base more content to play, as long as they don't take away that PvE content. Now, is that PvE content going to cost us money? That's something that I haven't really heard anyone talk about at all either. I hope that it costs us money, because for once in my life when it comes to Overwatch, I have the option to hopefully give them my money for something that I want to play that they've been working on, something that they've been working on for years. I don't want it to be a knockoff free content that we get just because Overwatch 2 is free, right? We need some kind of expansion that we pay for. And I know when it comes to spending money in Overwatch 2, a lot of you out there, that's a touchy subject. But if we're all upset about, you know, the cost of skins still, which we're not even going to get into that because I think that some of them are fairly priced and some of them aren't, but that's just the way things are going to be for a while. But that's a crazy topic to talk about. That's been in the Overwatch 2 community for a long time when it comes to the conversations around the price points that we pay for specific content within Overwatch 2. But the PvE content, that's content I want to spend my money on. That's content I want to give Blizzard, or that's money that I want to give Blizzard for their content that they're making for me, as long as it's good. So, really, I think that Overwatch 2 is in a good spot right now. I think that the new balance changes they just did, this new PvP, PvE hybrid content is fantastic. I love that they're trying new things, and I think that it's working out fairly well for them. I think that Season 4, out of all of the seasons, I've been enjoying the most. And it's funny because I've played the least amount in Season 4 than I have in any of the other seasons. There's been a lot of other games on my mind, including Tears of the Kingdom, Deep Rock Galactic, other games that we're going to focus here on the channel, and we're going to be doing videos a different way. You're going to be seeing a lot more of me, and we're going to be talking a lot more just like this, just out in the open, no cuts, no edits. I want to be direct with you guys, and there's just too much stuff to talk about when it comes to Overwatch 2. So we're going to be doing, like I said, these videos a little differently now. So yeah, what do you guys think about PvE content? Because if they say 2023, I really think that we might be getting it in Season 5, and if it's not Season 5, it has to be Season 6. I don't think that it's going to be way late in 2023. If I recall, they did say early 2023. I'll put that roadmap up on the board, and we'll see if I was right or wrong about that. But that's soon. That's really soon, guys. And it's a big moment for Overwatch. I consider it, you know, the official release of Overwatch 2, because this isn't Overwatch 2, this is Overwatch 1, or at least what we should have gotten the entire time that Overwatch 1 was in limbo. That's what this is right now. That's what Overwatch 2 is. So when PvE releases, it better live up to the hype, because if it doesn't, Blizzard is going to be... Overwatch is going to be not where it should be. And it's already not exactly where it should be, but for what they're doing, I think that it's in a good spot, and I think that it is kind of where it should be in an Overwatch 1 perspective. But Overwatch 2, the PvE content that was always promised to us, that all of us have been sitting around waiting for, this is their last chance. This is their last chance to show us what they're made of, what they've been working on this entire time, and I'm really excited for it, and I hope you guys are. And this was just a really exciting mix between PvE and PvP that just got me thinking about all this stuff. So, yeah, let me know what you guys think about PvP down in the comments below, PvE down in the comments below, and let's talk about this, because I think that there's a lot of discussion up for what we might be getting when it comes to PvE. So, yeah, thanks for listening to my rant, guys. I'll catch you on another video. Peace.